Welcome, fall season, to the seat of supremacy. I have a special divine feminine guest for the episode of Creative Curation, the lovely green image, the vegan empress, the green. No, let me. I'm not gonna get into this scripture because I respect this woman so much. I seen her build her brand from the mud, like we like to say, from the sand. From the sand, she built it, and I was there to witness it. And I feel very honored because I was one of the first artists that she met with. And I'm just always a space. I'm just always tell man. So I'm just little old me. And when she first got started, I ended up having a meeting with her, and that was she's not aware, but that was a time in my life when we met. I was actually going through a lot of transition myself. I was I was just starting my business. I was just starting Supreme Wellbeing, and I was in between, my artistry and my entrepreneurship journey. And I was trying to find a way to combine all of my skill sets into my entrepreneurship. And I'm here to tell you, sis, that helped me so much. It helped me. That meeting that we had helped me understand my value, and not only that, it helped me understand more moving forward how to become a creative entrepreneur, right? Because I was transitioning over. It felt like because I was getting more consumed into entrepreneurship, and that was new for me because I felt like I was letting go of my artistry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're never letting go because that's how you create what you're doing is by your artistry.
Right, exactly.
It's almost like when you start a business, it's already built on creativity. That's why when you see anything pop up, you're like, oh, you heard about this new spot? It's probably because it's creative, and you like, dang, how they think of that?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I totally agree.
That's
I totally
you.
agree. Yeah, I had to refine myself through entrepreneurship, and you helped me with that. You helped me. You opened my eyes a lot just to the vegan community, how vast it was. I had been vegan for years when we met, but I didn't know, honestly, the network and the circuit until you started working it.
Ooh.
The way you started working it opened me up to like, oh wow, this is a whole, the North Carolina vegan community is just beautiful, and I think you highlight that, and I'm very grateful for your work. But okay, enough about that. Let's talk about, tell the people a little bit about yourself. For those that are not familiar, could you tell them a little bit about what it is?
Well, a little bit, a lot of it is that my name is Jamie. My IG is my name backwards .Jamie. So it's EIMAJ.Jamie. I pronounce it image, and it's just because clearly I'm fly all the time. I will always slay, and that is why you will always remember me outside of the green afro. But I'm green image, my plant-based promotion, curator, model, mommy side, and then image.Jamie is like a creative space for my plant-based work, my music work, and my fashion work. So I just like to highlight so many amazing Black businesses and creatives in the city and put them all in the same space with plant-based food.
Wow. Plant-based food. So, and the way that I saw you build your brand off of highlighting those businesses, food trucks, venues, establishment, through the holistic and vegan lifestyle, it was just amazing to me. And the aesthetic that you use, like you're unapologetically you. I feel like it was new to a lot of people in the area, and that's what this area needs. It needs innovation. I feel like the RDU area can get very job industrial. It can get very, real. Yeah, real RTP-ish,
Research triangle.
So when individuals like you come through and just give us that creative intuition and that new method of, especially when we're dealing with planetary wellness and veganism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it makes wow, it opened me up so much. But I wanted you to talk a little bit about to the people like how you actually started your brand. Like tell them like
Yeah, so the biggest thing was obviously, you know, you get to a place where you don't know yourself, you're unrecognizable, but you like, I know I'm in there deep down, and it really comes from your food. I really strongly believe that our food is the biggest contributor to everything that happens. Whether it's I'm happy today, I'm sad today, my stomach is flat this morning, or I'm bloated, or, you know, maybe there's something inside that's triggering an emotion. I think it's all gut related. I think that food just does everything. So when I wasn't feeling happy, if I wasn't feeling like myself, because I know myself, and I knew myself and where I wanted to be. So even if you don't know yourself and you want to be somewhere else, I really felt like I needed to get my food right. So I began the journey by understanding what foods worked for me. And of course, we all know the elephant in the room, Dr. Sebi. Like, let's be real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This man knows what he knows, and his experiences have been experimented.
Right. Facts.
So from my science background, I'm like, hold on, he already proved that everything was caused by mucus.
Right.
So let me just get my mucus-less self together.
And when was this? When was
so. The first time I went vegan was in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
That was for very much experimental reasons. People were like, Jamie, well, you're already mostly plant-based, but you're still incorporating meat. Try not doing it. And
right.
this is also from different leaders in the community that I'm sure we know together, just telling me about herbs and different plants. And they all were plants.
Right.
And this is the thing. People weren't not eating meat. They just were incorporating the plants into their meat diet.
Right.
And I'm like, well, hold on. My science self is telling me if I take the meat out and be on this plant-based diet, take these herbs, let me see. To me, this was like the new weed.
Right.
They got this new weed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me try.
So I'm like, let me try what's this new substance?
Mm-hmm,
and the new substance was me. How's my body taking on these new things? And that was in 2016. I then did it for a little bit, more for, like I said, experimental reasons.
Right.
I ended that journey. People were very mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
They cast me out. They thought like, oh, we didn't invite you because we knew you didn't eat this.
Let's talk about it.
I was just like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that was just me doing it my first time, 2016.
Yeah. And not to cut you off, I feel like that was them doing us a favor as well. For us to be able to give us room to grow and find ourselves even more.
Oh my gosh. And thank you for that, because I didn't know that is what happened until after the fact. So when I did cut myself off of being my best self, I then gained 100 pounds in a year. 100. Wow. So from 2017 to 2019, 2017 to 2018, I gained 100 pounds. And like, believe it or not, I went to the doctor. I have this on my IG, like clearly 280 something, okay?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you're healthy.
Wow.
Because you know why? Because my blood pressure was cool. This was cool. Whatever diagnostic they had was that I was cool.
Interesting.
I went back home immediately, knew that I couldn't count on anyone but myself. I told my husband we are no longer going to the doctor unless it's in an absolute emergency. Our home is our hospital. Our kitchen is where we conduct our medicinal use to create whatever we need to put in our bodies to make us feel better. And it was more of like, I couldn't trust anybody. The fact that you even have labels on my food to make the decision for me to decide how I'm going to treat myself,
right.
I can't trust the world now. I was very angry at first at everybody for allowing it. When I did road trips and I seen McDonald's and Taco Bell and all these places near the truck drivers, just the road, the path of what they have to eat to make sure all the things we're getting in our stores.
Right.
Like, we're trusting them to drive on these roads with this in their body. Like, it went full-fledged crazy. I was
Absolutely.
like, the world's against me.
Yeah, it's funny, the relationship between what was going on in your life during that whole transition into your a new dietary law. It's very interesting. I love hearing stories of my fellow plant-based friends about how they came into it, because a lot of the times when we were feeling alienated and we were secluded and people didn't understand us, that's when we were coming into understanding ourselves the most.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like something that we needed to go through to be able to get to where we are now, which leads me to my next question.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you love most about your work? Like, what do you enjoy the most about it?
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun to be the example. To be the example is different. It hits different.
The solution, too. You're the example and you're the solution.
Yeah, because I offer classes, spaces where you can clearly be yourself, bring your children, very much support. Even if the event isn't plant-based, if I'm there, the people that are there are always going to be supportive, and they're going to meet you where you are. It's not about, I'm this way, so you got to be what I'm doing. No, I was that. I don't know where I'm going tomorrow, today.
Right.
I'm everywhere. I only see a reflection of myself. So it's like the work is fun because I'm seeing the reflective values of what I put in.
Right. The reflective. And you know, it becomes like the discipline that comes with vegan, with being plant-based, is very freeing, but it turns into a lifestyle. See, people, I always say, you notice, they say, I don't see how y'all are that disciplined. And we're like, really, it's become just a way of life. It's just the way that we flow. It's our existence is a walking solution for planetary wellness. It's a walking solution for your kids, whether you know it or not, your kids, because we don't want them to live in a damaged earth. So not only are we becoming our own healthcare systems, but we also are a walking example and solution that you have no consciousness of. I totally agree. Like what you said first was so profound, because they'll tell you on my episodes, my previous episodes, I always say I believe that the first step to raising of the consciousness is eating live foods. That's the first step. Like you said, your gut flora, the way that your vagus nerve is operating, the microbiome, like your second brain, like your first brain, really. Like,
really,
you know,
because it was created first, even when you're in the womb. Right.
That's one of the first. So it's like, you know, I look at it like, you know, food psychology is so deep. I feel like our existence and the way we live our life could be very intimidating to people.
Yeah.
But people like you make it easy. You make it stylish. You make it wavy. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta make it fun.
Right.
It's almost like being the box, the cereal box, right? I'm the cereal box, but inside you're still gonna get the nutrients.
Right.
You make it look fun, and it's all, you know, eye catching. It's on the same level, so it's easy. But at the same time, when you open up the box, you know what I'm saying, you're still gonna get what you need. And that's all I'm saying. I'm just holding people accountable. Don't act like y'all don't know that it's out here just to when I say it's out here, what I'm referring to is I'm saying there's uncontrollable things and forces and energy that are going in the direction of our demise and our destruction.
Right.
So if you don't already have it in your brain, like, hold on a minute. When I walk outside, like how I grab a jacket because I'm cold or it's raining, that's what you do with your gut. You know what I'm saying? Let me protect myself. The seasons are changing.
Right.
What I need to do different? If seasons change, why can't you change?
Wow. That's deep.
I'm actually confused right now. We should be changing.
When
the seasons change, we should be changing. Your hair should be different. Your skin should look different. You go inside, you sleep different way. You know, this habitat, this hibernation that people tend to do is not because we just do it because it's cold. No, it's real. Like,
it's absolutely.
You actually need to go inside.
Absolutely.
Keep your body warm so the mucus flows, because it's not flowing at a rate as fast as it was in the summer and the warmer times. So you coming inside being in heat is eating those soups, eating that, drinking those teas.
Exactly.
Having your smoothies the first thing. Oh my God.
The circadian rhythm the circadian rhythm should show us as humans that, well, I feel like, vegans are the evolved race of humans. We're getting it, and we're getting our connection back to nature. But what you're saying is us being connected to our circadian rhythms and understanding that we change with the seasons, but we go against that now with all the things that we put into our body. That we know that we're consuming heart disease. We know that we're consuming diabetes.
And they put a label on it, and we say, oh, okay, cool.
It tastes good.
It's fine. And that to me is the true dealer.
Right.
The true, like.
Nah, seriously.
That's the pusher.
And they killing the game. But that's why. So I wanted to ask you another question. And that's why it's so important with the work that we do. We really do God's work. And I understand that people have moderations in their diets, and I understand that people do the best what they can, but it is definitely levels.
The level is when you are born in the hospital, the first thing they do, they try to get the mother clearly to breastfeed their children. That's the most important thing. But if the mother is unable, what is the secondary form of nutrients? And they give them Infamil. And the fact that is even an option is ridiculous to me. And it's even even if you have to sign a waiver, whatever it is,
right?
All of these physicians that go to all these institutions that people pay for to learn the information that clearly is not helping,
right?
It's like, come on now.
Yeah, it's and that gets deep. Like, shout out my son, man, Musa, with his mom. His mom breastfed him. That was my first experience with a child being breastfed. I'm a father of 4 boys and a girl, so like that was a different experience for me. And I want to suggest people look up wet nursing, because the black woman has always been able to produce liquid gold. So now we're talking about how we have devolved, like, in a sense of like who we are by way of this westernized diet, because we can't even produce the way we were producing at a time where y'all were the number one source. There were all nationalities of babies nursing off of
black
y'all.
Women.
So like, look up wet nursing. It's very interesting. But I wanted to ask you, how far do you think the North Carolina vegan community can go?
I'm with it. Let
me before you answer that, right? You know what made me think of that question?
What?
When we was in Charlotte, and I was just looking around like, yo, this could go so far.
It's not even about it can go. I feel like that right there is that is the problem. If you saw that and I seen it and we was there, and we know Black Vegan Street Market actually exists,
right,
and they exist, ask me what the first thing I said was when I went to them. I never said, this is so nice. This could be, I said, let's get together. I already seen it.
You already saw it.
I've been seeing it. That's why I do what I do.
Would you consider yourself a visionary?
I've seen all of these things.
Right.
I didn't know who was going to. Shout out to Oasis, because this is my first interview. And let me just tell you, whoever didn't want to interview me, you are so.
Oh, right. They were asleep. They were asleep.
I'm so sorry.
They were asleep.
No, they wanted to, but what happened was they were scared because my power is so real. And the thing is, I'm going to be myself. They don't know what I'm going to say. And I think that's actually the beauty in it.
Yeah.
Like, let's uncover some stuff. Let's talk about it,
Right.
And the real is that everything can work. It could be real big. We got to work together.
Right.
And I'm not talking about it. I'm just going to do it. And then the people who want to join hands, I'm going to grab your hand. I'm going to hold on to it so tight. You're going to be like, dang, I didn't know. When have I ever seen you and was like, let's not work together?
Never.
When have I ever been like, yeah, come on?
Never.
I'm always going to be like, let's go.
Yeah.
And that energy, you cannot tell me, will not be so magnetic, just rub off on everybody. And you be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. Bring your sauce.
Right.
Bring your lettuce.
Yep.
Bring your tomato.
Yep.
I'm going to bring the meat.
Yep.
It's going to be vegan meat.
Right. But it's still going to be the, right. It's going to be a little lentils and some chickpeas, but it's still meat. But nah, so Black Vegan Street Market.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What's your Would you say that's your baby? Is that are you coddling that right now? Like, what's going
No,
on? Like,
let me tell you, Black Vegan Street Market is so many babies in a baby that it can't be mine. It's the community's baby. If you know what it is, it's the community's baby. There is not one day that the community can say that we have set aside to make sure we're implementing plants in the community.
Right.
Besides Black Vegan Street Market.
Right.
So I feel like if we say right now, let's just create this citywide no meat day,
right.
we can do it there.
Right.
All the people that are curious, the flexitarians,
yes,
people that go back and forth, they don't know for sure. Let's just say, y'all, okay, we got Juneteenth and we got November. The November market is always the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Let's have our vegan feast, just situation,
right.
just not eating meat. Everybody come to the park. We just have it and everybody talk about it up until Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
I'll challenge everybody. Let's go. Let's have no meat Saturday to Wednesday night.
Absolutely. Let's try it.
And then if you want to eat meat on Thursday, do it. But let me know what happens to your body when you come to Black Vegan Street Market from that time to that Wednesday. And then when you do that Thursday, how you feel that Friday?
Right. How you feel? Right. And it's no excuses now. The Black Vegan Street Market. Welcome to Supreme Wellbeing. You can visit Supreme Wellbeing at www.mysupremewellbeing.com and get all your holistic products. I have sea moss capsules, burdock root, and also my new publication, a step-by-step guide to improving self-discipline. If you're looking to improve your holistic health, visit my website right now, www.mysupremewellbeing.com. Shout out to the Black Farmers Market. They're providing produce. I feel like it's a more intense push for people to make the total transition into the plant-based lifestyle. You know, it's so much easier now. We're making it's accessible now. It brings so much joy to my heart because, like, I feel as though if we want to, I have begun to get a stronger love for planet Earth. So, like, my planetary wellness awareness has elevated so much just by my lifestyle, learning about animal agriculture. You know what I'm saying?
My gosh.
Things that go on within that industry, and how much a lot of our people don't know, and some of them they don't care. And a lot of that has to do with, like we was talking about before, just being a host for a lot of bad bacteria, parasites, toxoplasma, and your neuromodulators have been invaded. You know, so you can't really think. You're not really thinking for yourself on top of devices. You know, your thought patterns being kind of controlled by algorithms.
It's AI. It's AI food out here.
Wow.
I didn't want to tell nobody, but they bring that up. I didn't even call it nothing, but y'all eating AI food, yo.
Wow.
If it don't got no seed, it's AI.
Yeah.
It has no seed. Who's his mama?
Right. Where the mama come
the
from?
A and the I.
But we understand that's a fact. We understand cross-pollination. Like, I learned about cross-pollination from a farmer, and he was telling me about. But that's totally different from AI and GMO.
Right. Totally different.
So that's a natural. Nature does its own thing. Let nature do. But if it wasn't AI, it would be a lot more seeded fruit than it would be seedless fruit. So there's something like it's really. But I feel like people like us. This is why the spaces that you create is so important, because it's going to open up the thought patterns and it's going to help us be able to know how to use the technology and not the tech using us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what plants do. Plants open up your mind. Plants help your neurons so you can be able to have your own thoughts, create your own philosophy. So
what does it do to the blood, though?
Oh, man. Like, so the thing about, I just had a client dealing with inflammation in the foot.
Ooh.
And I said, he knew about changing his diet. He changed his diet and he was making the transition over. I said, well, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna do cayenne pepper and beets. Get that circulation, get that blood flow flowing, get that natural vasodilator, open up them blood vessels. So with him changing to a plant-based diet, and hopefully this can help somebody out there to see this episode. Him changing to a plant-based diet and going into herbs like beets and cayenne pepper that you can pretty much get from your Whole Food store.
Yeah.
There's no excuses.
Yeah.
It's right there for you. Open up his circulation, the inflammation disappeared, and now it serves as a blood cleanser as well. So if you're dealing with any free radicals in the blood, you know what I'm saying, you dealing with, you know, you dealing with blood clots.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You
Which
dealing
is
with
circulation.
cholesterol plaque in your cardio, like, you know, all that's gonna clear up when we're talking about blood circulation and blood flow. So it's like, you don't want, it's counterproductive to do that, and then you go back to eating what you know is heart disease.
Which is fine though. Like, I'm still okay with the back and forth. Like how we talked about just simple, the education system, and sometimes you don't really know, you're not ready to go to college yet, right? I feel like that same graduation with yourself and knowledge of yourself is still fine. You can go back and forth. You can have a D one quarter, then have a C, then at the end of the term, overall compilation of your grades can be this. So I'm cool with going back and forth, but just understand what back and forth looks like.
Right.
Back and forth looks like, you know, you're not stable.
Inconsistency.
It looks like, you know, one day you look good, other day I see this. Your skin is your waste system. So I look at skin a lot. I look at your structure of your body, how you're standing. Where's your head? Is it high? Is it going toward the sun? Because I tell my husband all the time, like, you are Superman. This is the hottest man I know. I'm not kidding. His body heat. I don't know what he does with the sun, but like when he goes outside, he don't sweat. He just comes back in. He's just hot.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
I'm like, the fact that our bodies are even able to know to be a conductor.
Yes.
What do you think is happening when you actually consume it? Not even be around it.
Right.
But when it comes inside.
Right. Nah, that's like what you said, just on a deeper, like that's on a deeper, like, metaphysical level, just with your power as a black, divine, feminine woman. Your hair is literally defying gravity ever since I met you.
It's always.
And that's how you wear it. You know, that's why you notice I put the picture of you and Angela Davis.
Yes.
That's
oh
who you.
gosh.
That's and that's like, you know. Shout out Angela Davis. You seeing this? I don't care how old you is. Like, I'm always open to, like, take you out. You feel me? You like my dream woman. But like, it's all good. I just had to put that out there. But so your way
I really think she passed.
No. She's still alive.
Sure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. She teaches at Angela Davis teaches at University of.
Are you sure? Let me do a
Yeah. She teaches at University of California. Yeah, she teaches at University of California.
I just cried the other day.
But that's who you remind me of.
Yeah,
in ways. The revolution has transitioned over into the food industry.
It is.
This is the real revolution.
Yes. I'm so happy you said that, because I feel like it's almost like they were fighting for freedom then.
Yeah.
I feel like we're fighting for, like, health and our right to not be killed daily.
Absolutely.
And the things that are so easily accessible, like, people say, like, you know, you give kids candy and they just, like, always want candy, and they just, why are you giving it to them? So you're starting off by giving the kid sugar, which we know sugar turns into what? What does sugar do? It is the most addictive thing. It's more addictive than caffeine, alcohol. It's the gateway to all demise to your health. Like, that's just what I say sugar is. And then you give, you know, sugar to kids. So I don't understand. So the war is like, you have to go out here, understanding we're in the world. You live here. But it's like, yo, we here, but, you know, I'm on this, you're on that. And I don't want it to be a war where it's like, I'm on this, I'm on that. I want it to be a unity of, like, we know what works, teach what works, and then you have the freedom to do something else. Right. But do not say you need milk.
Right. And that
protein, chicken. In my school, the periodic table had chicken, eggs, maybe if you went to a more, you know, they have more money, and they may have had beans, they had legumes. But I'm just saying, like, mine was like chicken, eggs, maybe a steak or something was in the corner. Yeah, the beef. Bottom was just like rice, bread.
It was a lie.
My point. Like, to say that I needed that system and then put it in a pyramid at that. Right. I'm just like, yo,
food psychology is very deep. And it's going back to that and understanding that we are in a food revolution. What morals and principles do we stand on, as the great Angela Davis said? Right. You know, revolution doesn't always have to look volatile. But what morals and principles do you stand on? And the morals and principles that we stand on is a holistic lifestyle. The morals and principles that we stand on is wellness as a whole. You're whole, coming to the table whole, eating whole foods, emotional, social, intellectual, occupational, the whole elements of wellness, right? All of them. And we're taking those and we're promoting those every day of our existence, and showing like, okay, we're fighting back in this revolution by way of being an exemplar of how we need to be moving forward as a human race. You know what I'm saying? So
You gotta do it.
and you know, another thing I wanted to touch on too is what I've been paying attention to is a lot of people in the beauty community, they put a lot of emphasis on how animals are treated. Now we love the animals too, and we understand that this has to stop going on with the animal agriculture, and it's polluting the earth. However, I feel as though it's a different. I feel as though if they use that same analogy, if they looked at that same analogy on how black people were treated the same way, how the calf is getting took away from the cow, and when she was born, the cow holds the calf for 9 months, ironically. As soon as it's born, it's taken away. What does that sound like? That sounds like being on the plantation back in the day with our ancestors, when the child was getting took away to be sold to another plantation, right? So I feel as though the word vegan and the principles and morals that go into that are universal, not just for the animals, but for your whole way of thinking and being as a person, as a human being. Because if you can have that same energy towards humans as you do towards animals, and vice versa, right? On an equal playing field, this is ultimately the solution for planet Earth. We can't just focus on how we're treating one species of being on this planet as opposed to another, and I ain't gonna say highlight it or ignore it. We're ignoring it.
Right. Well, the problem is when you think we're not all one.
Right.
So that's really the underlining thing. That's why I always go back and just invest into kids, because whenever I feel like, oh my gosh, how do I go so deep? You know, mind, reality, and presentation of where the mind is right now in the world is very saddening. So I choose to not go and put my energy in that. Is to talk to the kids, because the kids they're gonna be the ones here, and if anybody is gonna tell them, it's gonna be somebody's mama, auntie, grandma. It's gonna be me.
Right. How do you deal with that? I'd be deeply saddened too. How do you deal with that sadness of like how we're devolving, like as like?
I mean, I feel like it's all a rate, right? I'm going back to my science self. It's as fast as this is doing, I need to be on this track.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna cut in the middle with my divine three, my two daughters and my son. So it's like my work is in them, understanding that I'm going to be gone and I have to leave something. And I already left 3 people, so I'm still here. 3. I came back as my son and my 2 daughters.
Right.
But in them, they're gonna create more me's.
Right.
Right. So it's like, as long as I know that I need to create more of me and teach them what I know, and just really just have something where kids can just be around me and I can just give them language, encourage them to eat and drink the rainbow. Just simple things you can just say. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
So when I'm saddening by the grown people who clearly are just like, one life, YOLO. I'm like, all right. You got one life. I got about 17 million. I haven't created yet. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? How you don't die is constantly eating life, being the life, and sowing into somebody else's life.
Right, exactly. And just for the record, when we were vegan, when it wasn't cool back in 2015, 16.
Yeah, it wasn't cool.
How did you like? I honestly, I want to say like a lot of the times the way I was treated. It did make me feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's coming from people that you love. Because they don't understand you. They don't understand the lifestyle. They don't understand the transition that you're trying to make. So, for instance, like, for example, like I would go to the cookout, because
disrespectful.
That's where they commune at. That's what we've been doing for years. I get it. Like, but if I'm coming to the cookout and you know that I made this change and I'm serious about it, you know, why isn't there anything there cooked for me?
They're not doing it for
You know, they're not so it's
you
like
have to bring what you go, how you brought yourself and your energy and your difference and your alien.
Right.
Because you're not from here. You're from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
You're from a different time. That's why we're here.
Right.
We know our mission.
Right.
So it's like once you identify that and you're strong in that, when I come to the cookout, I bring vegan food. And I'm like, hey, I brought the beans. Everybody demolished the beans. What you put in the beans? I actually cut up everything, every herb I got from my homie Earth Essentials. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I'm putting love inside of love, and I made it with love. So they're tasting
shout out Earth
love.
Essentials. Yeah, right.
Right. They're eating love. They're not eating regret, sadness. They're not eating pain,
trauma.
So while you're on the grill, you don't know what that person's thinking about while they're handling your food. Even going back to handling, even with the food that you're eating, all of those things take into consideration. So I did feel some type of way. I told you my anger problem. That was with the big, franchises. Then also the anger was in, I have a lot of doctors in my family. And I'm just like, so y'all just about to keep doing this and going to work and giving people chemicals when we all know they came from plants.
Right.
And you could have just given them a better alternative or another one. Now, I'm not even going to say better. Well, better isn't even real.
Yeah.
Just alternatives of reality.
Yeah.
Saying this can be a reality. This can be a reality. I feel like that's what doctors are supposed to do. Not get paid and put this reality to the side and this only give you one. Right. And that's not real.
It's not. There's multiple. And that's what's going on. Ultimately, I just removed myself from the situation totally. That put me in a deep solitude, but it's what I needed, like we was talking about earlier. And within that, a lot of things were self-discovered within me. So it's what I needed. Your approach is what the approach should be, which is the solution. By way of, but what I did it was like how you said earlier, was like, okay, that's cool. I'm separated, but I'm gonna go over here on my own path. I'll catch up with y'all later, but y'all gonna see. Y'all will see me, right? So now, ironically, that things are getting really bad and you can't ignore it. Now you're circling back like, wow.
I'm gonna call you. I've been this particular stage of veganism for 4 years. I just celebrated my 4th year, me and my kids. So the first time it was me by myself. Second time was me and my kids because there was no longer, I know what food is. Food provides nutritional value.
Right.
Meat does not provide any nutritional value.
Right.
There's other things that don't provide nutritional value that people consume
like
and
sugar
call
cane.
it food.
Right.
My thing is, we can't even be in the same conversation because you think food is this and I think food is this. So once I understood what food was and we're talking about two different things, how am I going to be angry with you? How am I going to be sad for you? I'm not talking about the same thing. So it's like, okay, you're talking about something else. I'm talking about this. We're just talking at each other.
Right.
So when I found out there was talking at each other, to each other, with each other, people that are with, they want to know because they're taking notes.
Exactly.
The people that are talking at me, they're just wanting to tell their point over my point. And then, people talking to me, they just want to know. Like, let's just have the dialogue. Let's just go back and forth. I want to hear your reasoning for why you think this is food. And I'm going to let you hear mine, why I think it's food. And I have all the conversations. Even my sister right now, she went back to eating fish, and she had to circle back to full-blown plants.
How long was she not eating flesh?
She wasn't eating flesh, I want to say maybe a year and a half. But then she circled back, went back to fish. And then she's back to plants because she, like I already told her why I wasn't eating fish, the fish can't be trusted. They still have the chemicals from the polluted water, or they're eating bottom feeders, which are basically the garbage disposal of the sea.
Right.
So now if you're eating the garbage disposal and then you frying it up, you're still eating the same thing that the seafloor was getting rid of.
Exactly.
A waste system.
Exactly.
So you're eating waste and it's just in a chemical form coming back and doing something to your body. So she couldn't even trust the sea. She had to only get things that were rooted, leafy things. Like there's quality vegetables in vegetables.
Absolutely.
So there's hybrids. There's actual things that's gonna provide more.
Absolutely.
You know, vitamin E and C and D. So it's like you got to know all these things, and it's always gonna circle back to science, and that's why I'm never gonna leave the science side of me out. You know, I love my science side, like my creative side, and
Yes.
together it's Green Image.
Absolutely. It's a fish. And if you're looking for omega-3s, you know, www.mysupremewellbeing.com, sea moss it's full
Let's
of
go.
omega fats. So yeah, her circling back to that diet, right? To
She circled
fish.
back.
Now, she stayed behind a river or had some land with some fresh water. That's
Exactly.
different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I haven't ate flesh since 2016. I don't ever plan on going back. I don't crave it. And I think it's more of a spiritual thing for me now.
Okay.
I've ascended in a lot of different ways, but my most to me, the most profound way I have transcended is spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I attribute that a lot to my dietary law and what I put in I spent 9 months as a fruitarian.
Ooh, you did it for 9 months?
I did it for 9 months. That was a good experience.
What does fruit do to the blood? Why'd you do it?
I did it. It was a spiritual thing for me. I did it. I think I was going at the time. I was going through a lot in life, and I felt so good when I started off a watermelon fast that I just wanted to keep going.
I love watermelon
I started a
fast.
watermelon fast like, I think it was like May, and then I just kept going into like the end of the year.
Wow. Was watermelon?
Nah, when it was out of season, I went to grapes,
say.
mango,
Yes.
banana. I had to chill on the banana though.
Yeah, the little baby bananas you can get from, they're everywhere. You can get from
I was looking like compare food. Sometimes they be hard to find
But
too.
Food Lion,
Oh,
people be
Food Lion,
sleeping on
man.
Food
Yeah,
Lion.
that's all they do. They have the red
Food
banana.
Lion actually has seeded stuff.
They
I
do.
get my grapes and then my
They stepping their
seeded.
game up. They actually surpassing Harris Teeter in my opinion, in a lot of different ways. But with doing that, it just took me on a different ride. I seen how I was way more productive. My cognitive functioning was off the chain. I was able to function, but a lot of the experience came from like a lot of intuitive ability.
Yeah.
Like it was like I could see from a different eye. I knew I could finish people's sentences. I knew what they were gonna say.
I know.
My visualization was way more powerful. You know?
I feel like that's all the time, right?
Yeah.
And you've already had that. You unlocked it.
Yeah.
So when you found out I was thinking it, now I am it.
Right. I am. And that's the thing. I went through a stage of like believing, and then that's like, nah, I know.
But even if you have any doubts, you know what's gonna win? You. Because you it's nothing wrong with being 7 of you.
Right.
But the one that's gonna be the one is gonna win.
It's gonna
because
always
you
win.
already put the energy into making sure that this one wins.
Right.
And all the versions of yourself as you're creating them, they change. You know, sometimes they evolve until your greater self, your more spiritual self. I love that. Dang, wow, I'm having a brain fart. But what is the group Earth Gang? They just
Earth Gang,
said R.I.P. to my human art self.
Yeah.
That is real.
That's deep.
People don't, like, y'all sleep on that.
Yeah, it's deep.
I
It's
was
deep.
like, dang, did I die? Like, I was trying to remember if my human art self died. Because it was one point,
It's deep.
I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to be art to y'all no more.
Nah, for real. I don't even know if I want. Nah, it's serious. And it's the self-evolution. And I wanted to ask you about self-evolution, but that's why I kind of keep my distance away from artists that always talk about quitting. Like, if you always talk about quitting, do you really love to create? Is creating really, are you looking for the lifestyle, or do you really love the art, the craft? Because if you're always talking about quitting something that keeps you out of depression, it helps, it impacts people, it impacts you, it helps you, it makes you remember who you are to get rid of self-doubt. It helps you defeat it. So why are you always talking about quitting? Oh, probably because you're not doing it for that.
Yeah, that's the root to everything. If you have an motive, if you really ain't that, everything that's gonna be is gonna be right. I don't care how it got to be right, but it's gonna be right. It's gonna
Exactly.
be existing. That's how I know what to do, and I know how to do it. It's not because I told myself. It's because I don't even listen to me no more. I listen to the other me's that are past me that you see right here.
Absolutely.
And I just be like, okay, what you say do?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm doing that.
Absolutely.
And that is how I keep going. So if you're in a place where you can't know how to listen and figure out, and you don't know how to get to a more listening place and
Yes.
to hear yourself, I literally cannot watch TV. Sometimes I can't listen to music for weeks because I'm telling myself so many things, and if I don't listen and go to Me University and study Me 101 and go through all these semesters and do these reports, like Black Vegan Market, that's my dissertation.
Yes.
I'm still writing my thesis right now.
Nice.
I'm not even I'm
That's
not
what
even
it's
done.
about.
I'm actually like.
That's what it's about. You hold that thought,
Yeah.
and that's what the GMOs is doing. It's blocking the intuitive message that we get. Joseph Murphy said in his book, "Power of the Subconscious Mind," the prayer is the call to the Almighty, and then the intuition is Him messaging us back. Everything that they're putting us in place, because our people have a deep intuitive ability, and it blocks that. We have a blockage by way of what we're putting in our body, right?
Yep.
The vision for, you just said that you're currently brand scripting right now. So the last thing I wanted to ask you is, like, and you're writing your hypothesis as you go. We're becoming one with the vision as we go. But if you had a mental image of yourself in the next 10 years, could you describe that?
Okay, so I have 1,000 visions. I don't know what order.
Right.
I just see it all
That's
the time.
normal.
Sometimes I'm just up and I just see different flashes. I just know that, like, in order for the flashings to be reality, I gotta continuously work.
Yes.
And my work never stops.
Yes.
It's talking to my kids. It's kissing my son. From him telling me to be safe and giving me an umbrella this morning, that right there is like, okay, what does that mean? I'm in the car thinking like, okay, this King, Lord, he needs to be, like, you know what I'm saying? So all of those things, to getting me to wherever, and all the flashes, I actually live in the content nature of knowing that I don't know, and I'm gonna trust everything that's gonna lead to whatever I'm supposed to do.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with not knowing. What's your goal? I don't know.
Hey, it's okay not to. Actually, that's enjoying the process. That's what makes it all worth it. It's all in the feeling. We don't know, and that's what opens up the endless possibilities of the quantum field, is us stepping into the unknown.
I'm okay with it.
It's fine. I love it. It's no other way to be. It's no other way to exist. And that could be, for those out there, that could be you waking up and say, hey, today I'm not eating fast food anymore. Hey, today I'm gonna step into the unknown of, as a father, I'm gonna see my kids, every day this week. I don't care what it costs. I'm gonna step into the unknown of that. Today I'm going to write a song every single day of the week, verse, chorus, hook.
Okay.
Today I'm gonna play my instrument all day and write a poem because I've never done that before.
BYOY.
Today I'm gonna write that business plan that I've been having, but I haven't had the guts to write it because I've been just putting it off. But I'm gonna step into the unknown of that today. You don't know. You just gotta keep going.
Right. And my subconscious tells me to constantly be ready for unknown. Which it means, like, people get so frustrated with me because they say, what do you do? I had a little snippet for you, but the truth is I do everything. I'm Walmart, really. I write, I produce, I direct. I'm a content creator, I'm a model, I'm a mother, okay? I am a house manager. I am a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
I am a doctor. I'm a teacher. I'm a lawyer. Let's see. Name something.
Right.
I am.
Right.
I am.
I am.
Period.
And I'm telling you, you are good at the main thing to put everything in a basket with that, like the main thing to me, you're just a phenomenal creative.
Thank you.
You're phenomenal. That's what, to put everything, and you are all of that. You are all of that, right? But to put everything together, to consolidate it, your creative mind. Yeah. I admire your creative mind, right? And I feel like that's why we unfortunately have to end this episode of creative curation.
We have to end it.
Oh man! So we might have to do a part 2. I say that a lot, but I mean it. I mean it on this one. I mean it on this one. We're gonna have to do a part 2. We're missing my co-host, Professor E. He has some questions for you.
Okay.
Shout out, Professor E. We love you, man. Hope everything is okay. For the people out there, you could contact this wonderful, wonderful woman, Black Vegan Street Market on Instagram.
Yep, Black Vegan Street Market NC, and then image.jamie, and it's EIMAJ.JAMIE. And also I have my music side, which is BYOI, Bring Your Own Instrument. We saw some clips in the back, but anybody that just has the sauce, I mean, bring it. And that's what Bring Your Own Instrument is a whole just group of local artists that do so many different things, and we just get it in together. And what I got coming up, because you didn't drop it on me yet, so I'm going to say it, I'm going to plug my own self. We are going to be doing some new things with Bring Your Own Instrument in October at Unscripted Hotel.
Oh, that's going to be fire. That's going to be fire.
Yeah, so we started off in, breweries, restaurants, everywhere else, but the hotel means a lot to me, because that means regardless if I come, it's going to be somebody who's going to hear the music.
That's right. That's fire. Yo, I enjoyed this a lot, y'all.
And then get my pants real quick.
The Seat of Supremacy.
The Friday Candy.
Green Image.
I just wanted to say that.
Y'all know what it is, man. Supreme Wellbeing.
And I don't know how to act.
We'll be back.
At all.
Peace and wellness to the family.
Yeah. Pass me that ginger tea. I don't ride waves, I got my own lane.